Welcome back, my wonderful friends, to our channel. If you are a fan of amazing dramas and captivating stories, you are exactly in the right place. In today's video, we have prepared a recap of an incredible series that will steal your heart from the very first moment and make you live every single detail alongside the characters. Before we dive into the events, please support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment below with your thoughts. Your support helps our family grow even bigger. Grab your favorite drink and let's begin. The show begins with a young girl named Juwon, where we see our teacher teaching the alphabet and asking each student to mention a word starting with a random letter. While other students offer many words, Juwon struggles and is unable to give the correct answer. After that, the teacher points to the word window, but instead of saying window, Juwon blurts out widow, which was actually her father's situation. Her mother had passed away, and she shouts in front of everyone that a widower can do anything, including giving her a brother. The teacher is left confused about how to explain the meaning of the word widow to children. Next, we see Jong, Juwon's father, who runs a small restaurant and is an excellent cook. When Juwon returns home from school, Jong picks her up, and other children tease her by asking if her father will really give her an older brother. This angers Jong, and he asks Juwon who told her he was a widower. Juwon mentions their old neighbor, Samin, who sits nearby. Jong explains to her that she shouldn't believe everything Samin says because she might be lying too. The two then go for a walk, and Jong tells her that if she really wants an older brother, he would have to go on a blind date, although neither of them fully understands what that means. While walking, they see a family moving into the building where they live, the family of Mr. Kim, a police officer. Mr. Kim has a son named Sanha, and when Juwon sees him, she runs up to him, shakes his hand, and calls him her older brother. However, Sanha pulls his hand away, feeling uncomfortable with her actions. Jong talks with Mr. Kim and invites him to his restaurant. He asks if Mr. Kim's family consists of only 3 people, given that Jong and his daughter live on the 2nd floor, while Mr. Kim's family is moving into the 3rd floor. Mr. Kim laughs, but his wife, overhearing the conversation, gets angry and asks why they are talking so much about their family. At home, Sanha's mother continues shouting at Mr. Kim and Sanha, throwing household items in frustration because she did not want to move to this new place. Hearing the noise, neighbors call the police. When an officer arrives and sees Mr. Kim, they quickly apologize, not realizing it was his home. Mr. Kim asks them to meet him at the police station the next day. As the officers leave, they discuss how Mr. Kim's daughter recently passed away, which is the reason behind the family's move. Upon hearing this, the neighbors become less concerned about the fight and return to their homes. Jong later explains to Juwon that she should never speak about Sanha because it could hurt him in the same way hearing news about her mother hurts Juwon. At that moment, Jong sees Sanha sitting on the stairs and invites him inside, but Sanha refuses and heads home. We then see Mr. Kim talking to his son to reassure him that Sanha's mother is not angry, but simply in pain, which is why she acts this way. The next day, Jong sits with Saron, who tells him that Sanha's sister died last year and that his mother blames him for it, which is why he remains quiet. Hearing this, Jong feels sorry for Sanha. Later, we see Sanha stand outside his home eating raw noodles because his mother hasn't cooked for him. Juwon notices this and tells her father, who quickly prepares a delicious dish for him. Juwon takes the food to Sanha, but he still doesn't want to talk to them, quietly returning home to eat. The following day, Saron arranges a blind date for Jong with a woman named Miss Kang, who arrives with her son Haejun. As they approach Jong's house, Jong accidentally spills water on them while cleaning outside the restaurant. Juwon returns from school and everyone gathers at Jong's house. When Juwon learns that her father might get married and that she might get a stepmother, she protests loudly, insisting that she only wants a brother, not a mother. Samun takes Juwon and Haejun outside so Miss Kang and John can talk. Miss Kang expresses admiration for Jong's clean house and cooking skills. She feels guilty for not being able to care for her son better, as she is often too busy with work and doesn't know how to cook. Meanwhile, Saron, who is suffering from stomach pain, rushes to the bathroom, leaving the children waiting. Juwon, still upset, leaves Haejun alone, unwilling to talk, and heads back home. As Juwon leaves, Haejun follows her, trying to talk to her. Meanwhile, Juwon overhears 2 boys walking down the street gossiping about Sanha. They claim that befriending Sanha brings bad luck because children without a mother or father are unlucky. Hearing this, Juwon confronts the 2 boys angrily, but they push her and she falls. Haejun joins the fight to defend her, and eventually Sanha steps in as well and strikes the 2 boys. The fight escalates until their parents arrive and break up the dispute. One of the boys' mothers demands that Juwon apologize to her child. However, Juwon stands her ground and explains what the boys said about her. Feeling embarrassed, the boy's mother realizes that she was the one who taught her child those ideas and decides to drop the matter. As she prepares to leave, Jung steps in and asks the boy's mother and child to apologize to Sanha too, which they do before leaving. After the fight, Haejun smiles at Jung, clearly beginning to see him as a father figure. He wanted to stay with Jung, and Jung invites Sanha to lunch as well. During the meal, Jung repeatedly serves food to Haejun, while Juwon amusingly takes food from her father's bowl and shares it with Sanha. Everyone enjoys the moment together, but Jung later accompanies Haejun and his mother to the bus station, asking Sanha to take care of them. Juwon and Sanha go to the park to play. where Juwon teases him by chasing him with an earthworm, making Sanha run and laugh for the first time in a long time. Watching from the window, Sanha's mother looks visibly upset. Afterwards, Sanha visits Juwon's house and they look through the family album, where he sees Juwon's mother in the photos. Juwon explains to Sanha that if he ever misses his sister, he can always look at her picture. Later that day, Sanha, now missing his sister, follows Juwon's advice, stares at a family photo, and eventually falls asleep. Meanwhile, at the bus station, Miss Kong is with Hae-jin, and Jung has packed some food for them. However, Miss Kong receives a sudden phone call. Back at home, Juwon tells her father that she doesn't want him to marry again, and Jung reassures her that he won't do anything to hurt her feelings. The next day, Jung learns that Miss Kong changed her phone number after leaving. Saran suspects something bad happened to Miss Kong, as she previously seemed fond of Jung and his family. It is later revealed that Miss Kang is indeed in trouble. She leaves Hae-jun with her aunt, promising to return after earning enough money, and leaves. In the next scene, we see Mr. Kim and his friend coming to Jung's restaurant, where Saran advises Mr. Kim to take his wife out to entertain her and prevent further arguments. Juwon also tells Mr. Kim that she's inviting Sanha to lunch with them again, to which Mr. Kim happily agrees, hoping it will make Sanha feel better. Jung receives a phone call from Miss Kang asking for financial help, and he agrees to help. She gives him Hae-jun's aunt's address, and when Jung arrives, he finds the house in a terrible state. Hae-jun was living in misery, surviving on instant noodles. Jung feels deeply saddened and gives Hae-jun the food he brought. Jung asks Hae-jun's aunt if he can take care of Hae-jun until his mother returns. The aunt agrees, and Hae-jun, already fond of Jung, is happy to go with him. Meanwhile, Sanha returns home from school and confides in Juwon that his mother isn't really angry but in pain, which is why she doesn't talk to him much. However, when Sanha gets home, he finds his parents arguing again. His father was planning to take his mother on an outing, but when she found a family photo in Sanha's drawer, she became upset. She blamed Sanha for their daughter's death, accusing him of doing nothing to save her when both children were alone at home. Now, every time they interact with neighbors, she grows more agitated, especially when Sanha seems happy with Juwon. Mr. Kim tries to reason with her, reminding her that Sanha is only 8 years old, but she refuses to listen and threatens to leave the house. Devastated, Sanha begs his mother not to leave. He promises her that he will no longer play with Juwon, nor eat at their house, nor be happy. But she locks herself in her room, leaving Sanha crying. On the other hand, Juwon is unhappy about Hae-jun staying with them. She becomes extremely angry when she hears Hae-jun calling her father dad, especially when Jung agrees to let him do so. Her jealousy intensifies, and she gets angry at both her father and Hae-jun. During dinner, Hae-jun eats quickly, savoring the food because he hasn't had such a meal in a long time. Juwon, feeling jealous and anxious, lies on the floor and begins to cry. She fears that Hae-jun's mother will soon join them, a situation she dreads. Meanwhile, we see the 3 children in their respective homes. Hae-jun is happy to be with his father figure, but Sanha remains anxious all night, troubled by thoughts of his mother. The next day, Sanha tells Juwon that he won't play or eat with her anymore, leaving her heartbroken. At that moment, Sanha's mother steps out of the house with her bags, preparing to leave. Juwon notices this and wonders if Sanha can come out to play. Sanha's mother angrily asks if she considers him her brother. When Juwon confidently replies yes, Sanha's mother becomes even angrier and tells her to keep Sanha, as she is leaving him forever anyway. Juwon feels overjoyed, completely unaware of the gravity of the situation, but Sanha is left crying as he watches his mother walk away. From that point onward, Jung takes responsibility for raising all 3 children, Juwon, Hae-jun, and Sanha. Time passes, and the 3 grow up together, entering high school. Hae-jun becomes a basketball player, Sanha excels academically, and Juwon retains her lively personality. Their household now consists of Jung, her 2 older brothers, and Mr. Kim. The whole family often gathers to have breakfast together. One morning, the brothers discuss their first day of high school. Juwon brings up the idea of formal adoption, proposing that one of the older brothers adopt them so they can all share the same last name and become a united family even on official documents. Sanha jokes that since he is the oldest of the 3, he should adopt everyone, which would make him their uncle. The brothers laugh at this, but Juwon suddenly stands up in frustration. She insists that sharing a common last name is essential for their peace of mind. The scene shifts to their childhood. Back then, Sanha often brought snacks to school for Juwon and Hae-jun, including a limited edition snack that Hae-jun particularly loved. Juwon brought the snack to school one day to share with her best friend, but another girl sitting nearby accused her of stealing it, saying she had searched many stores for it. The argument escalates, and Juwon becomes a target of bullying. Classmates start sending letters to Juwon and Hae-jun through her, and when neither responds, the bullying worsens. Students begin spreading rumors that Juwon is not really their sister, with some suggesting she has a crush on Hae-jun or Sanha, and is intentionally withholding letters meant for them. Hurt and isolated, Juwon feels trapped and helpless against the bullying. Determined to protect herself in high school, Juwon decides that a shared last name would boost her standing. She asks Hae-jun for advice on the bus about how to avoid being bullied. Sanha suggests contacting a teacher, but Haejun tells her she needs to project an image of toughness or craziness to keep bullies away. If they succeed in bullying her once, they will never stop. Taking his advice, when two senior girls approach Ju-on at school and hand her love letters for Haejun and Sanha, she insists that they sign a contract stating they won't talk to her until they receive replies. Angry, one of the girls pushes her to the ground, mocking her for not having a real family. Remembering Haejun's words, Ju-on decides to act crazier than the bullies. She starts counting aloud, deciding who she will act crazy toward first. An angry girl raises her hand to strike her, but Ju-on grabs her and starts dragging her across campus until they reach a pond. During the struggle, Ju-on slips and falls into the dirty water. Everyone bursts into laughter, and an embarrassed Ju-on gets up dripping wet. Ju-on plays innocent, pretending the girls were just trying to talk to her. Seeing this, the girls call her crazy, which is exactly what Ju-on wanted. She smiles, knowing she achieved her goal. Her best friend Park rushes to Haejun on the basketball court to tell him about Ju-on's trick. Sanha's classmate also informs him, and both boys race to find her. Haejun arrives first and uses his shirt to clean her. Sanha tells the bullies to leave before he reports them. Afterwards, Ju-on changes into clean clothes, and Sanha angrily scolds Haejun for advising her to act crazy. But when Ju-on joins them, Sanha stops, and they all take the bus home together. During the ride, everyone is bothered by the lingering smell of the pond on Ju-on. Haejun, barely able to contain his laughter, pulls her close, and they all walk home together. On the way, they encounter an elderly couple from their building. Pitying the children, the couple comments on how tragic it is for Haejun and Sanha to live without their mothers. Hearing this, Sanha and Haejun feel hurt, but Ju-on cheerfully tells them she is happy to have such special brothers. Her words warm their hearts, and they head home. Later at dinner, Ju-on brings up the topic of adoption again. She believes that having a shared last name will be beneficial for them in the future. Sanha receives a call from his maternal grandmother, but doesn't answer. When his grandmother calls Mr. Kim instead, Mr. Kim steps aside to talk, causing Sanha to leave the table. Ju-on becomes upset and lashes out at Mr. Kim, asking why Sanha's grandmother keeps calling when his mother has remarried and will never return. Mr. Kim gently tells her to drop the matter. After dinner, Jung saves his former mother-in-law's number as ex-mother-in-law and decides not to stay in contact with her, realizing it is time to focus on his children. Meanwhile, Haejun and Ju-on try to cheer Sanha up by sneaking into his room with rice balls. They sit on his bed and tease him while he tries to study, but they soon catch a strange scent. Ju-on realizes it is her new shampoo and asks with annoyance why Sanha didn't tell them he was using their shared shampoo. He reminds them that they all bought it together during a buy-one-get-one-free sale. After some light banter, Sanha kicks them out of his room. Before leaving, Haejun playfully asks if she will treat him like an oppa, prompting Ju-on to repeatedly call him oppa and claim she will charge him every time she uses the word. The next day, Sanha's homeroom teacher, impressed by his academic performance, suggests he applied to Seoul University, known as the top institution in the country. However, Sanha feels conflicted, as he doesn't want to leave home and prefers attending a nearby medical school. The teacher advises him to discuss this with his father. Overhearing all of this is his classmate Yi-jin, who invites Sanha to the music room to speak privately. As they leave, Ju-on and Park notice them, and Ju-on prepares to follow them when Park stops her to reveal that Sanha and Yi-jin are dating. This revelation shocks Ju-on, as the entire school seems to know, yet she is the last to find out. In the music room, Sanha asks Yi-jin why she wanted to speak privately, worried about rumors. Yi-jin reveals that she has feelings for Sanha and wants them to go to Seoul University together. Sanha rejects him, insisting that she should pursue her own dreams without involving him. An upset Yi-jin remains angry at Sanha for the rest of the day. After school, Ju-on confronts Sanha, accusing him of hiding his relationship with Yi-jin and implying that Sanha doesn't truly consider Ju-on family. Sanha explains that to him, family isn't about legal documents, but real bonds, leaving Ju-on confused. Meanwhile, Haejun's practicing basketball when he notices a man taking photos of him from a distance. Haejun chases the man, who drops his camera and runs away. Examining the camera, Haejun realizes the man was taking pictures of him. His friend suggests that the man might have been hired by his mother, triggering memories of the day she left. Later, Haejun's aunt visits Jung-on, loaded with gifts for the kids. Jung thanks her, but it is clear that Samin dislikes both Haejun's aunt and his mother, Miss Kong, feeling they didn't take proper care of Haejun. Outside, Haejun warmly greets his aunt as she prepares to leave. She advises him to always repay Jung's kindness, as he took such great care of them. Back inside, Ju-on refuses to eat dinner out of annoyance with Sanha. Jung guesses that she must have fought with Sanha, causing her to storm off. Sanha follows her to apologize and explains that Yi-jin is not his girlfriend, but in fact Haejun's ex-girlfriend. This improves Ju-on's mood, and she rejoins the family for dinner, although she remains distant toward Haejun, upset that he hadn't told her the truth earlier.
The next day at school, Ju-on starts ignoring Hye-jun, and he asks Sanha what he said to her. Sanha clarified that he revealed the truth about Hye-jun's past relationship with Yi-jin. Hye-jun realizes that Yi-jin wants to rekindle their relationship and now understands her intentions. In the past, she had broken up with Hye-jun for Sanha, but when Sanha rejected her, she tried to get back with Hye-jun. This time, Hye-jun decides not to get involved, wanting to protect his sister's feelings.
Juwon confides in Park about Haejun's ex-girlfriend. Park, who has feelings for Haejun, becomes briefly sad, but quickly cheers up upon hearing that they broke up. Later, Haejun catches sight of the man who was taking photos of him. He learns from the school guard that the man was actually a private investigator. Haejun wonders in confusion who would hire someone to spy on him, and shortly after, he thinks he sees his mother. He follows her, calling out, but realizes she is another woman. As the day ends, Sanha and Juwon gather for dinner, where Jung serves Haejun extra soup, knowing he needs energy for his upcoming basketball game. Juwon, still feeling ignored, accuses Jung of favoritism, but he insists he treats them all equally. The next day at school, Haejun is practicing basketball again, when a man in a sports car arrives holding a picture of him. After matching the face in the photo, the man introduces himself as Haejun's father. Haejun stands shocked and speechless, frozen in place. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Until we meet again soon, don't forget to show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Goodbye, my wonderful friends.